Hey y'all, welcome to Girl Meets Green. My name's Norma, your host of whatever. We are talking Love is Blind, UK, Season 2, Episodes 5 through 8. It took me a while. I'm sorry. A lot happened in these episodes, okay? I had to give it a second little 1.5 speed, clicking through, watch through. But let's get into it. So Episode 5, we have Kieran and Megan talking, and Kieran is telling her he loves her. And she's just kind of like, I'll like say it when it feels right. I've never been in love before, so that's like a really big deal, a really special thing to me. And he's in his confessional kind of talking about how he like not worrisome, but like, when you say I love you, you want to hear I love you back. We have Cal and Sarova, and Cal is just reassuring her, saying he said he loves her and he meant it and he still does, and they are talking about their love growing. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was worried when the whole type thing happened and he was so upfront about it. I was worried, but after watching him talk to like Katisha and the way he interacts with the guys, like the way he interacts with anyone he's talking to, he's just a very direct person. You see Jed and Barda, and a few of their conversations are similar to this one about her independence. And just that like he's a man who's used to like providing and taking care of his woman. She's somebody who, like she said to him, she's like, I don't need you, I want you. And that's like better. Like I just like, I'm with you because I want you, not because I need you to do something for me. And so they're both kind of trying to like work with and get used to each other's dynamics. Megan and Kieran have grown on me. This is a random one that didn't have to be mentioned, but I wanted to mention it because I'm not gonna lie, I think most of us who are watching kind of felt like they were just like the goofy, like we're just here for vibes, and we just, we thought it'd be fun to vibe together. But just watching them, like the reason you feel that way is because they're both so just like relaxed and happy-go-lucky. And like this scene, he's like, oh, like this is the shirt I'm wearing tonight, let me put it in the closet. And he like opens up the closet and she's like on the top, like on the shelf that's at the top of the closet like this, and they're like cracking up about it, and he's like, no biggie, just putting my shirt in the closet, acting like he doesn't see her, while she's like up there laughing and giggling. And it's really sweet. And honestly, it gives me like, it'll be a while before they have kids. Like they're both just like evenly matched. Often on this show, it's people being like, I'm ready for marriage, I'm ready for kids, I'm ready for the white picket fence, right? Like that's what like everyone's kind of like ideas are on this show. And I feel like the two of them are more new aged. And I like that they're on here to kind of show our youth, our young adults, like, you don't have to get married because, oh, now I want kids and now it's like the next thing. It's just like, oh, I want to like share my life with someone now. And so I see them, that's what I'm trying to say is like, I see them getting married and like doing life together for a while before having kids. Watch them like prove me wrong and they're like pregnant in the reunion. But I really like that. Like, it seems like they are truly just enjoying each other, and that's what makes them want to marry each other. So all the couples are brought together, and the hosts come out. Sorry, I can't remember their names, but they're kind of asking how they're doing. At one point, they ask Javin, and Katisha, and this man is talking about like, yeah, if we don't get married, like, we keep dating, like, no biggie. And I'm just like, Katisha, baby, like, I need to see all the footage of them because I'm trying to understand what she saw, because from what we see and what we're seeing and how he's acting, I'm just like, I don't get what about that man would make you say marriage, would make you say like this is husband material. I'm sorry. Like, it's just like, girl, what is wrong with you? Like, it's insane to me to think, I mean, could you imagine? He's just proposed, you're on the honeymoon. Like, for pretty much everyone, this is where it's like still cutesy and fun, right? It's still honeymoon phasey. Like, you just got engaged, you're on the honeymoon, like you've seen each other and you like how the other looks, and like it's all so fun. And this man is saying like, oh well, if it doesn't work out, well, like he should still be in the like, lover from the pods, like just like our connection is so strong and beautiful, and like, yes, right? Like, this is the stage where everyone's still kind of like, oh, I'm saying yes to this marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then over time, maybe towards the end of the honeymoon, going into them living together is when people start being like, I don't know. Kieran's talking to the guys about being a little nervous about the fact that Megan hasn't said she loves him. Billy gives him some reassurance, and he's, like, it's going to be all the more special when she says it. And I agree with that. Because when we see it happen, you're like, oh, That is more special. Javen is speaking on the whole Damula thing with the guys, just kind of like, you know, being like, she's really concerned about it, embarrassed by it, she's feeling bad, I don't think she needs to. Like, he's just, you know, smiling and like, it's cool, it's chill, it's whatever. And then, meanwhile, Katisha is talking to Ashley and she's like crying about it. She's like, you know, I hate that I'm the bad guy and, you know, I need to clear things up and he doesn't understand. No one understands. They weren't in the pods with me. They were and it's like, yeah, girl, help us. Tell, like, you still haven't told us what made you go from like, yes, Damula is it, to now Javen when he gave us nothing. Honeymoons are over. Everyone is back. I'm gonna go a little bit just quick, like each couple first time back in like the real world, getting their phones back, etc. Billy and Ashley, we could just get them talking about like integrating, right? Like most couples do. They like sit down and they're like, what's it gonna look like? Like, what time do you wake up? What time do I wake up? You know, do we work out together? Like, our schedule's gonna fit? Like, you know, like, are we gonna enjoy being in each other's company? Like, stuff like that. So that's what they're talking about. Then we have Kieran and Megan are looking at each other's Instagrams. I can't remember if they had each other's phones or if they were just like on each other's Instagrams, but they're looking at each other's like little thirst trappy posts and they're both just like cracking up. He's like, wow, like this is mine, like she fine, like, and we love that. Okay, we love that. And you know, she's looking at his and like, oh my god, and he's like, there I go with my shirt off again. Like, they are just, I'm really enjoying them. I'm really enjoying them. I've like seen them from a specific lens and I can't not see them in that lens. Jed and Barda are just talking a lot about the similarities in their cultures and how excited they are because their cultures were so important to them. I believe he's Albanian and she's Lebanese. And those are pretty similar cultures. So I love that for them. Katisha and Javen talking more about Damula. And he kind of finally asks her like what she said to him, right? Because like him and the other guys as well are all kind of like, yeah, it was really confusing that she chose you because like she was really sure about him. And this is where he finds out that she told him like, you have nothing to worry about. And so that's where it makes sense, right? Now you're like, oh, well, of course I would be confused too if someone told me I have nothing to worry about. They did not really show Sarova and Cal. We see like one quick laundry scene because it's like when everyone's like, they're showing little footage of them recording themselves. And it's him like trying to figure out how the laundry machine works. Either how to lock the door or how to open it afterwards. Episode 6. Now, episode 5 ended with Billy meeting Ashley's dad. And it's like, you know, she's like, so I'm actually engaged. That's where I've been. And we see the dad looking all like pensive and like, what the fuck? And then we go into episode 6 and they're talking more. I mean, it goes well. The dad is supportive at the end. She asks him to walk her down the aisle and he's like, of course. And so it looks good. It went well. Kieran sets up a little like at-home dinner for Megan. The cute little flowers. It's like roses and then like sunflowers coming out of the middle. It looks funny, but it also looks really cute. Like, I feel like if like I get home and my guy like did that, you would like love that. You'd take pictures of it. You'd be like, you have to do this all the time. This is like our new signature centerpiece for our table. Like, this will be your job at all. Because it's just, it was really cute. They sit down for dinner and she grabs his hand and she's just like, this has been amazing. Like, you're so great. And then she's like, I just love you so much. And the smile that comes upon this man's face is just so freaking adorable. And he's just like, oh my god, I'm getting emotional. And then they're making out and it's fucking chef's kiss. I have to say, I think he would agree it was worth the wait. Devin's talking to the guys about being unsure now that he knows what she said to Damula. And he's starting to think what kind of Damula and the guy, and I think Cal were thinking of like, oh, if she would do that to him, she'd probably do it to me. I don't think that's what he's actually thinking. I think he's just trying to kind of like plant things so that when he decides to say no, or like when it doesn't work out because of him, he can be like, well, look at these things. You know how guys do. You know how guys like Javen do. Tisha's talking to Sarova just kind of about how like not reassured she's feeling about by Javen about the whole Damula thing, that they're kind of communicating and working through it, but that he's just not communicative and he's not connected emotionally with her. Kieran takes Megan to see his place, and she's just enjoying she seems to just love everything about this man. She says it. She's like, I love everything about him, even his nerdy gaming setup and ways or whatever. And she's like, it's lovely that he turned it into a career. So I guess he's like a gamer, maybe like Twitch streaming or something. We'll have to look him up and find out. But it was very cute. He's like, put your headphones, get the full effect. Like, they're just fun and cute vibes, and I love it. But in the best way, not in like they're not gonna end up together or like this is gonna be a mess way. Just in like they just seem so evenly matched from what we're seeing. Ashley and Billy were a couple that I thought were like solid, right? I was like, they're gonna be the boring couple. They are not, okay? We are now seeing the foundation cracking. We see a conversation between them where Ashley's talking about how she feels guilty because he's so regimented and like he'll get up to go wash the dishes, and she's like, oh my god, if you'd just given me 5 minutes, I was gonna do that. And like essentially her feeling guilt in how like he's so like on it, doing it, systems go as she says, and her feeling guilty because she's not like that, and so her feeling like he's probably judging her for not doing it or for not being like that. She doesn't say that, but like that, it seems like that's what she's getting at, is kind of like, your regimenting makes me feel guilty for not being regimented. And this becomes a pattern. And while I understand where she's coming from, if I'm being real, it sounds like it's more of an issue within herself and not that he's doing something wrong by being regimented, which is how she tries to make it seem, where it's like, your regimenting is a lot, and I just think that maybe you need to like be flexible. And it's like, he really doesn't. Like, and this is, if there's anything I've learned in the spot that I am now, we have to really hone in and pay attention onto the things that are important to us and look for people who match that, and not look for people who are willing to compromise or willing to change for us. Like, yes, there's gonna be compromising in relationships, but the compromising should not be you changing who you are completely. This goes for both sides, where it's like, he should not be expected to be less regimented because you are. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing to sit there and be like, yeah, you should change that. Yeah, we're talking through it and we're no, it's like, clearly y'all just might not be a good match because you lead very different lives. And if neither of you is okay with it, right? Because there's people who, the guy is like a fitness junkie and the girl is like living her life, not worried about it at all. And it works because neither of them feels a type of way about it. And, you know, there's not like guilt of like, he's working on it, I'm not, or she's chilling and I'm not. Like, they both are just like, this is how I am, and it works. And Billy seems that way, right? He seems kind of like he wouldn't really worry about like what she is or isn't doing, but she seems very concerned by that. And we see that, I'll jump ahead a little bit, but they have another kind of very similar discussion because they go grocery shopping and she's picking stuff and he's like, oh yeah, I don't eat that, too much starch, too much calories, too much this, too much that. I'm very, you know, he's like ground chicken and vegetables and rice, like just very military diet type shit. But, you know, and she's like, oh, I want cake. He's like, oh, I don't keep cake in the house because then I'll eat it. And she's like, oh, and so then they have a discussion where she's just like, when I was younger, I was really skinny, and so food kind of gave me confidence, and I'm really not regimented or like strict about food, and that's a really big deal for me. And, you know, seeing you be that way really causes me worry. And he's like, you don't have to worry, like, I'm not that strict with food, like, it's fine if you want to do whatever you want with food, like, it's all good. And she's kind of like, no, but it is, it's a concern that you're like that about food. And again, I'm like, it's not though. Like, now, if, again, it seems like it's more about her than him and him needing to change. And it's not that she needs to change, it's that she needs to see, like, am I comfortable living with someone who is regimented about their food, living with someone who isn't gonna like indulge in cake with me, right? Which she's not. We can see that by her reactions. Like, she's almost in tears both times. And just talking about how like she doesn't want to feel guilty. Like, it comes back to guilt, where it's like, he's not guilting you though. He's not saying, hey, could you clean more? Hey, like, don't eat that cake, don't bring that cake home. He's like, you do you and I do me. All that to say, I'm like, I don't think these two are a good match. I think they are very different, and it's starting to show. Megan meets Kieran's friends, and in a conversation with one of his friends at some point, he talks about like not believing that he would get married going on the show and all of that. And again, I feel like that makes it all the more special that he was like, oh, this will just be fun. I'll talk to some people. He had no intention of forcing himself to pick someone. And then he meets Megan and picks her. And that, I don't know, that would be a little added piece of reassurance, at least the way I'm viewing it, of like, you know, this person was just coming on here to like try out the experiment. And I like stood out to him so much that he picked me. Jed and Barter are talking, and again, he's just kind of reassuring her and being like, I know that you're independent, love that about you. I'm here to be a bonus. I'm here to take care of you, and I hope that you can see that that's a good thing, and that, like, you know, it's okay to let that happen. And I love that for her, because she literally is like, yeah, like, I'm starting to kind of be a little softer and enjoying it. And I'm like, yes, girl, you need to. We need to, okay? We can be independent, but that don't mean we need to let no man not be nothing and be with us, you know? Darova meets Cal's mom and grandmother, and they love them. They say they're very compatible. And we see that. I'm seeing that. That's what I'm gonna say for now. I'm definitely seeing it. Their families are seeing it, and I love that for them. Katisha and Demolo meet up, and Katisha, I feel like, is just oblivious to shit. Like, she's literally sitting there like, yeah, I mean, I was struggling too. Like, yeah, you know, I was caught off guard too, or whatever. And it's like, how? Like, girl, please. But yeah, they talk. He's explaining his side. I don't think she's fully grasping it, because she's kind of just like, I was struggling too with my decision. I didn't know what to do. And it's like, girl, you're not understanding that the issue is you kept reassuring him when you weren't sure. You should not have done that. Like, what are we not getting? And she actually goes back to Javin and is like, yeah, it went really well. He's like, oh, you apologize? She's like, well, I didn't say I'm sorry. And it's like, how do you not see what everyone else sees? Jed and Barta meet Barta's parents. It goes well. The mom talks about giving her 6 grandbabies. He asks the dad for his blessing, and the dad gives it. And, you know, they're doing great. It's going great. Episode 7, we have Megan and Kieran getting a dance on. Again, just them having fun being goo. I don't know what else to tell you. Jed meets Barta's overprotective friend, and the friend is just kind of feeling like everything she said about Jed, she said before, so she's worried. The friend is also very concerned that they haven't had any arguments yet, and she feels like that is concerning because you don't know how you'll handle it. Sarova and Cal talk because Sarova's mom is very overwhelmed, and so she's like sending her a ton of messages and paragraphs about like, what are you doing? And she's kind of feeling like, I don't know why she doesn't trust me, but I do kind of understand that it's like her eldest daughter who never really does things. And so the mom's kind of like, well, what's happening here? Are you okay? And Cal's just kind of being like, you know, I think trusting your judgment should be enough. You picking me should be enough for them. And you can tell he's concerned. He's a little worried about like what it all means that her mom is acting this way. I don't know. I would say, like, remember, you haven't met her yet. It'll be okay. Katisha and Javin, he brings her to his place to see it. And they start talking, and she's saying how, like, she wants to have dinner every night. He's like, oh, well, I work late every night till, like, 9. She's like, oh, that's fine. I have dinner late anyways. Oh, what time? Like, 10 to 11. Oh, I'm asleep by 11. Yeah, no, dinner to 9:30, sleep by 10. Why did you come on this show? Like, if this man could help me understand what the heck he came on the show, that would be lovely. Because what is wrong with you? Like, oh my God. And Katisha, baby, let the man go. For real. Katisha also meets his mom and his sister in this episode. And when he tells them, like, oh yeah, we're engaged, like, his mom starts just laughing. And it's clear to me that, like, his mom knows what's up with this man. But I won't mind my business. The sister ends up talking to Katisha. Katisha's telling her how, like, he doesn't really communicate, and he kind of hasn't let her in, and she's like, yep, that's who he is. And it's like, if you could have any more red flags, that his sister's like, that's Chavin. Like, please. Ashley meets Billy's dad. We find out from Billy's dad that before he went on the show, he specifically said, I will be fine as long as I don't meet someone on cabin crew, like, who is a flight attendant. I'll be home in 2 weeks if that's the case. And here he is with a flight attendant. Like, you gotta be joking me. Pod Squad meetup. So everybody meets up. We've got Patrick and Nanu getting there first. And then later on, we see a conversation with them where she's just clowning him. She's like, you're a liar, yada, yada, yada. And I don't think he was a liar. I think you just didn't see it for what it was. But whatever. She's doing a bit too much for my taste. But I guess I get it. It's fine. She feels like her time was wasted. Even though it's like, they just did the experiment. So, like, if you chose to lock it, a little bit on you, Anu, I gotta say, don't mean to victim blame. Kieran goes to Megan to tell her he's gonna go talk to Sophie. He talks to Sophie, just kind of apologizes about the whole gift thing. And just like, thank you for being a part of my journey. And then goes back to talk to Megan. And Megan's just kind of upset because he's like seeing the Sophie that Sophie shows him, right? Of like pick me energy. And then her and, you know, the girls are kind of like, we saw who she actually was. And she's a little irritated that like he's not taking her word for it. And lastly, Javin, of course, looking at every woman, flirting with every woman. I like the nerve of him later on to be talking to Megan the way he talks to her, because she tells Katisha about himself, when it's like, we're literally watching you act this way. I'm not surprised. I believe Megan when she says what she says, because what are you doing? Like, he's on camera. He's literally like smiling, looking, talking, like flirting. Like, she's talking about her vagina hanging out with him. That is like, shut that shit down. What is... No tengo palabras. This episode ends with seeing Katisha and Javin back at their apartment. She's visibly upset. He's just pretending he doesn't see it. She's like, I'm going to bed. Good night. And he goes out. And she's in bed crying. Katisha, baby, you should have packed your bags right then. Episode 8. The juice is juicing. Katisha tells Javin she's upset. He went out when he knows he's supposed to be meeting her parents the next day. She don't know if he's been hungover. He's like, well, I'm not, so what's up? And she's like, yeah, but I didn't know that. I don't know you. I don't know what you're like hungover. I don't know if you would be hungover. But I'm not, so I'm not. And you should trust that I wouldn't have done that. Girl, shut up. Shut up. Ashley meets Billy's mom and sister. They like her, but the whole cabin crew thing comes back up. And this is where he really expresses his reluctance, even though he already knew this in the pods. They had already talked about it. He had already said he was okay with it. If it was this much of an issue at this point, you have wasted her time. And you're continuing to waste her time. And you're letting her fall in love with you, knowing that you are this unsure about this aspect of your life. But mind you, they've already spoken about it. She's already made it clear that she would move on from it. Javin meets Katisha's family, and I found it interesting that he didn't seem like nervous. He was chilling. He was talking like he was talking to anyone. Like, there was no purposefulness in how he was speaking. He was just talking. And the mom is like, look at how her dad treats me. That's how she wants to be treated. Oh, well, how does he treat you? Like a queen. And he's like smirking, like he almost finds this shit funny. Like, and at this point, he's just like playing in our faces. He was just like, I'm just getting on TV and playing people's faces. Because Cal meets Sarova's family, and I have questions. Producers, editors, what the was this? What was this chunk of this episode? They make it seem like Cal is like, the mom is like, tell me what you like about her. Like, I would love to hear it. And he's like, her posh accent. As if that's all he said. And it's clear that it's not, because by the end of this interaction, they're so on board. The mom loves them together, loves him. Like, there's no way that that's what happened. The mom, as insecure as she's been, the messages that she's been attacking Sarova with. And he says her posh accent, and she's like, cool, whatever. He's great. Like, why did they edit this like this? I would have loved to see how this interaction actually went, because that pissed me off. Truly. But they love him, and we love that. And I find it interesting that the two families were very much, like, they're very compatible. Like, it made sense to them, truly. Barda meets Jed's parents, and his dad, very optimistic, very like, if you guys are happy and it works, it works. The mom is a little bit more concerned, similar to Barda's friend, about the fact that they've had no arguments, and the mom is just a little bit more pessimistic and realistic. A little bit, because she's concerned about how fast this moves. I don't know that I would call that like realistic, because there are people who last forever in arranged marriages, who had a blind date, who, you know, had a really short time period together before getting married. So I don't think it's so much about time as it is just about both people being really intentional in thinking and like finding a partner that works for them. Like, I think there has to be a lot of self-reflection and time with yourself when it comes to picking a partner, to like make sure you're picking like exactly who makes sense for you. So at the beginning of this episode, we see Megan talking to Kieran, just kind of being like, I'm gonna have to tell Katisha like how I saw him acting last night. And we see Kieran, I think in the confessional, kind of being like, he's my boy, so it's like, it's a little difficult being in this position. And he's like, but I get Megan, like, that's her friend. She has to have her friends back. Like, he is a grown-up who's thinking logically and is like, just like I want to have my boys back, she wants to have her friends back, and I have to support her in that, even if it means that I kind of am gonna have to side with her against my guy a little bit. So yeah, she tells Katisha about him just kind of like talking to Yolanda, and I think she says there's one other girl, but I can't remember who she said. I know it was Yolanda, Sophie, and someone else. And like throughout the night, she's seeing him with them, and also at one point in the night, he does see him go into the photo booth with Sophie, close the curtain. You know, he's making comments at the end of the night when she's being like, what are you doing? Like, you're engaged. She's like, it's chill. Saying how he was just kind of like, it's nothing, it's chill. Like, we were just in the photo booth, like, arguing or finishing a conversation. Like, and she's just kind of like, it was not okay. It was not a man engaged behavior. Like, it didn't make sense. And it didn't. Why did you go out by yourself? Like, that doesn't make any sense in this environment that you're in. And then to act like that is insane. So Katisha goes home. She's packing up. Javin shows up. He's like, what are you doing? She's telling him what she was told. He's like, I told you I was hanging. Like, I saw them all. I told you they were all there. Like, I was not with them all night. I was with Patrick and Demulla the whole time. And, you know, she's like, she wouldn't lie to me. She's my friend. Which literally, what good, like, what would Megan benefit from lying about you and what you did that night and like whatever? And also, he's being hella sketchy. She's like, okay, what about being in the photo booth? The photo booth? The photo booth? The photo booth? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean? The photo booth? Huh? Photo booth? Photo booth? Like, sir, be fucking for real. So he is trying to like convince her it's not true. She doesn't buy it. She ends up leaving him like a note with her ring, and she leaves. And then he reads the note and then rips it up, which, again, more reassurance that like this man wasn't on no time. Now he's mad because it's like, shit, my reputation, right? So now I'm gonna try to fix it. And so then we have him like the next day on the phone with Patrick being like, can you believe it? Yeah, I was with you the whole time. Yeah, you were with me the whole time. And then Patrick goes on his whole like, you know, she should trust you, and if she doesn't, that's very low vibration of her, and you don't need to be around low vibration. You know what I find interesting? 95% of the people who talk about low vibrations, high vibrations, whatever, are low vibrating freaking people. You want to know why? Because high vibrating people, whatever you want to call it, I don't know that I believe that shit, but whatever you want to call it, those people do not have to say that they are high vibration, or do not have to say like, that's low vibrational. That's low vibrational. Usually the way they're acting is low vibrational. Like, what are you talking about? Please be quiet, sir. Like, you know what he was doing. You're low vibrations for trying to make him think that he's not low vibrations. Callan's and Rover are solid. They're having dinner, and he's just really happy that she kind of like stood with him in talking to her mom, and like really kind of saying, you know, like, he's a great guy. I know that. Like, I love you, but I do have to like go with my relationship because it's strong and yada yada. And you know, he really loved that. She really loved that. She's like, I'm standing beside you. Like, you're my guy. Like, I know that you're a good man, and you know, you make it easy. And I love it. I love them so much. Billy starts talking about being 50-50. Ashley's caught fully off guard because, as we know, he's been saying that to everyone but her, as these men often do. And he's trying to say it's the whole cabin crew thing. She's kind of like, but we've already cemented that, like, we had a plan for that. And he's like, nothing is cemented. Nothing can be cemented. We don't know. I think what's happening with Billy is everything I've said about what we're seeing, he's seeing. And so now he's concerned. But obviously, I guess in his head, it's easier to just say that it's the flight attendant job than it's, oh, we're not compatible and we don't make sense. But she's very sad about it. He's trying to justify it, and it's unfortunate. All right, and this ends with Javin meeting up with Kieran and Megan to basically be like, Megan, you're a liar. And he basically approaches this by playing semantics. Because she made a statement that he was talking to women all night, he's like, were you watching me all night? She's like, obviously not, I'm having a good time. Okay, so how would you know that I was talking to women all night? Because I was with Patrick and Demulla all night. And she's like, sir, please. Be fucking for real. And this is when you know, one, a man ain't shit. And two, he's lying. And he did what she said he did. Because semantics is just a crappy way to try to get out of something. Well, see, everything she said is untrue. Because it's untrue that she saw me doing it all night. She wasn't watching me all night. Shut up. You know you were talking to all them women. You know you went into that photo booth with Sophie, talking about there was no curtain or anything. It was wide open and we were just finishing an argument. What would you have to argue with a woman who is not your wife? I mean, your fiance. That intently. Sir, please. And Kieran corroborates that yes, there was a curtain, and yes, you closed the curtain. So I'm sorry, I gotta back my boo boo on this one. But we love a supportive king, okay? He basically is like, hey, listen, we saw what we saw. Like, you can feel how you want about it. She saw, I saw, we saw. Okay? And yeah, she's just like, you freaking prick. Like, I know what the fuck you did. And she says how he was saying, like, Sophie is kind of like a fuck him and leave him type of girl, da-da-da-da. This man's was going off. So he was a little tipsy, feeling himself saying stuff. He woke up the next morning. He finds out that someone saw and someone told. And he's like, no, I didn't. What are you even talking about? He literally looks at her. He's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't, buddy. Sure you don't. Anywho, we get a little upcoming drama. And so, based on what we've seen and what I see in the upcoming, I believe Billy is saying no. That's a given. Barda is going to say no. I think Barda is going to say no. I mean, nothing till this point has showed us, but they do get into an argument. In the upcoming, we see that there was some sort of argument, some sort of difference between them. And I think that will be enough for Barda to say no, especially when we're hearing what her friend is saying and all of that. Callus and Rover are going to say yes. They have to say yes. I'd be shocked if they don't. And the same thing with Kieran and Megan. I definitely think they're saying yes, but we shall see. That's all I have for you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like the video if you did. Comment down below. I want to know who your yeses and who your nos are. Subscribe for more content like this, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.